Bass. Yes. It is the Tony Scott Internet Show. What's going on? Election Day 2014. The polls will open in some spots at 6 a.m. I think in Illinois, and over here I think they open at 7 or something like that. But the polls are going to be open, and you need to vote. It's important on both sides of the river. Your polling places are more easier now than ever before to find because of the internet. So Google polling places for St. Louis County, St. Louis City, if you live in the city, St. Charles County, St. Clair County, Jefferson County, Madison County, wherever you're listening. I'm just talking about the St. Louis area where I'm based, but in America, whatever city or county you're in, just Google polling place for that, and you'll get some information. Now, I, of course, will vote, but I will want the paper ballot. I don't trust the electronic ballot. I've read over the weekend and up until yesterday, I read like 4 or 5 stories where people who did early voting and used the electronic method, the touch screen, that every time when they pressed their candidate, the opposite one got the vote. So if you can do the paper ballot, you can do the paper ballot. Insist on the paper ballot. Insist on it. If they say we don't have it, they're giving you the okie dokie, because it's your right to be able to vote with a paper ballot. Don't get ugly, don't get disrespectful, anything like that. Just say, I'm gonna need to talk to the next person above you. No disrespect. It's all in love, but I want a paper ballot, right? Man, this is serious. You know, we think about everybody who voted for President Obama think, they were part of history, and they were. But more important are the local elections, because those are the ones that affect you the most, the local elections. Putting people in office by not even voting. You're just co-signing and giving it away like that. I don't know. Zaki Baruti is running for St. Louis County prosecutor against Bob McCullough. What do you say we shock the world? Why not? I mean, because Bob McCullough has been a bit of a disappointment, I think, to a lot of people. The Ferguson unrest has canceled the 2014 Guns and Hoses boxing benefit. It features police against firefighters in a boxing ring run by Backstoppers. It's a fundraiser for Backstoppers. And it usually happens the night before Thanksgiving, but it ain't going to happen because of the unrest in Ferguson, is what they're saying. We will see. The Ferguson Commission, speaking of, the Ferguson Commission that was formed by Governor Nixon to examine the issues that have caused tension in Ferguson, took its final rounds of applications yesterday. Now, me, myself personally, I think this is all a total waste of time, because we've had enough of the town hall meetings. We've had enough of symposiums and forums and come to Jesus meetings about Ferguson. We've had enough. Everybody knows what the problem is in Ferguson. And it's on many different levels. One the biggest level is the police department needs to be dismantled. It just needs to go away. Now, other problems are the elected officials. And residents of Ferguson have to own some of that, because if you don't vote, the people just keep getting reelected. How the hell does James Knowles keep getting reelected mayor? I mean, how does that happen? That shouldn't happen. He's the weakest mayor I've ever seen. I don't know what the deal is on that. A couple of things that I did find out, because I talked about recalling some of these elected officials, and apparently in Missouri, there are elected officials that you cannot recall. So that needs to change. Because there's no point, if someone is doing such a terrible job representing you, that change needs to be made. We shouldn't have to wait until their term is over to make that change. We, the people, should be able to recall. Now, having said that, it will get abused, but that's part of the system that we should be able to recall. This Ferguson Commission, Governor Nixon says he's encouraged by the diversity. I say it's a waste of time. But I will say this. If this Ferguson Commission isn't 50% African American, then it should just go away. Now, you're probably saying, well, Tony, it should be more than that because Ferguson is 3/4, 2/3 black is what Ferguson is. 2/3, 60, almost like 67, 69% of Ferguson is African American. Well, but I think the Ferguson Commission isn't just going to be for Ferguson. I think they're calling it Ferguson Commission because that was ground zero for the movement. But I think it's going to encompass the St. Louis region. If I'm not mistaken, that's how that's going to work. But again, I just think all that is a waste of time because we keep getting the same old meetings, same old. I said it already. I didn't need to say it again. It just seems like we're going in circles to me, and I just don't see it. I should have called this podcast, this show, the pop culture edition, because we're going to be talking a lot about pop culture. Because I don't know if you saw the video reportedly of a kid misbehaving in school, making Ebola jokes and saying students in the class had it and they would die. And the teachers, they called his parents, and the parents came up with an idea to turn the tables. So they came up with a prank, and they told him that he had Ebola, basically. And he freaked the hell out. I mean, great lesson, but, about careful what you say to people. What you do, you can't go around playing stuff like that, stuff that's serious. Some of us adults need that lesson too. But the video pretty much has gone viral. And I guess the parents figured, we need to teach them a lesson. And they did. Jada Pinkett on Instagram posted a picture of her naked back in bed. And she says, I discovered the sexiest secret the other day. My husband takes pics of me in my sleep. He has a whole stash he revealed to me. And I really enjoyed getting a glimpse of myself through his eyes. I had to share one with you guys. Life is art, life is beauty. Jada. And it got over 345,000 likes, over 12,000 comments, over 8,000 shares. Now, if they had been unflattering pictures, with slob coming down her mouth and, stuff like that, and, her weave all over her head and everything, all crooked and everything, and he took pictures, she wouldn't have wanted to post that, would she? I think it's kind of hot, though. He took a sexy picture of his wife while she slept. And then, she shared it with the world, But would every wife feel that way? If your husband took pictures of you while you slept and you found out, and he hadn't shared them with anybody, that's just for his stash of pictures of you sleeping. How would you feel about that? Would you feel like your own personal privacy was invaded? Would you feel flattered that he thought that much of you and is fiending for you that bad that he takes pictures of you while you're asleep? And then let's flip the coin. What if he did share the pictures and you found out? Would you be really upset about it? Or, if you were not naked in the pictures, it was just you sleeping and, maybe you might have been nude, but he just took a picture of your back. What is up with that? How would you feel about that? I think that's pretty interesting myself, how that whole thing is going down. But Johnny Gill says that he is New Edition is working on a new album. So if you're a New Edition fan, good news for you there. All right, what else do we got going on here? Apparently, there's a Falcons football player. Atlanta Falcons is a rookie, but apparently he went on Instagram trying to find the weed man. Just like, come on. And of course, what he'll say is my account got hacked. Your account did not get hacked. You were looking for the weed man? Did I get that right? That story right? That's it. Oh man. That's crazy. They just don't learn. They will not learn, will they? What about the woman tried to steal a stack of frozen dinners from a Walmart in Texas by threatening the clerk, saying she was HIV positive. Her name is Diamond Lawrence. She's 25, and she allegedly attacked an employee trying to give him HIV and tried to make off with $11 worth of stolen frozen food dinners. She made it outside the store when an employee asked her to come back. That's when she told the worker, I have HIV and I can infect whomever I please. She hit the worker. She scratched his neck, trying to draw blood and expose him to HIV. Then she told him, you're welcome. The worker, according to medics, had no bloody fluid exchange with Diamond Lawrence, meaning that he's safe. He's all right. You know? The thing is that if she'd have just like grabbed the frozen dinners and walked out the store, and even if they'd have called her and says, ma'am, if she just kept walking, they wouldn't have probably done anything. Because most stores, like Walmart, they don't prosecute for stealing a small amount of goods. Now, having said that, don't run down there trying to steal a pair of drawers and walking out and stuff like that. No, don't do that. But she was arrested on 2 outstanding warrants, though, for being drunk in public, and a second one for having an invalid driver's license. And she's being held on $1,500 bail, and she'll get all the frozen dinners she can handle while she's there. Right? How you do stuff like that? What is that about? You're not supposed to do stuff like that. That's not the world we live in. What? What about Kathy Ann Ferguson? Her last name is Ferguson. We're not talking about the city. Kathy Ann Ferguson smuggled cocaine in her vagina on a South Florida flight. She was coming from Jamaica to South Florida. She's 26. She was riding a JetBlue flight from Montego Bay. During the search, she admitted to a U.S. Customs and Border Protection officer that she had a package inside her vagina. She voluntarily removed the package. It turned out to be 0.175 kilograms of cocaine. She was taken to a hospital before being booked into jail on a trafficking charge. Man. So she was, I think in the vernacular is she was a mule, right? She was carrying drugs. But if you have it stashed in your vagina, why would you tell the officer that it's in there? I mean, because he's not going to search your vagina. He's not going to do that. So either the pressure got to be too much for her, or it was very uncomfortable to the point where she had to get it out. I wonder what she wrapped it in. What did she wrap? I don't know what she wrapped it in. Or she was just scared. I don't know what it is, but you know, she was home free, wasn't she? I mean, because like I said, he's not going to search her vagina. He's not going there, and you know, unless you say something, and then they're going to do something about it. But really, if you think about it, that's kind of crazy. You want to talk about crazy? How about the woman who hid a gun in her weave? This is in North Carolina. A woman is in jail. She was hiding a handgun in her weave. Tiffany Bass, the article says, was using her extensions as a holster. They were already booking Tiffany in Wake County on other charges after she was arrested during a nightclub raid when she asked to be excused. As soon as she walked out, they noticed that her head was kind of tipping to one side. She was walking with a gangster lean, y'all. It was at that time that they found a .38 caliber handgun tucked into her weave. Now, the police say we don't know how that didn't go unnoticed, and we're looking into that, but she was arrested on an outstanding warrant and was looking at charges for writing a worthless check. Now her bond is up to $65,000 because now she's being charged with possession of a stolen firearm and resisting arrest. Wow. What the hell that weave look like? She is a hot mess. She was walking to the bathroom, but her head was leaning to one side. I guess because the gun was too heavy. A .38. I thought it was a Magnum or something like that, but it was only a .38. And she is in a lot of trouble, and that's just too damn bad. Man, I don't know about people, man. I just don't know. Now, there's also a story. My friend Robert Littall, he's got a website called Black Sports Online, and he does mostly sports, but he does put up other videos too. Apparently, a cop told a woman, "I won't take you to jail if you show me your feet." Did you hear about this? Apparently, the man has some sort of foot thing, and he told her, "Show me your feet, and you won't go to jail." Now, what would you do, ladies, if an officer pulled you over, and let's just say you whatever he pulled you over, you were caught dead to rights, and you knew that like your license was suspended, you didn't have insurance, you knew there was a warrant out on you, and once they checked you out, you knew they were going to take you in. But if he told you, "Show me your feet, and I won't arrest you," would you show him your feet? I mean, really. Now, if your feet are jacked up, you're probably going to go to jail anyway, right? But if he said that, would you do that knowing that the alternative of saying no meant that he was going to take you in? Or would you do whatever this woman did and she reported him and he's arrested? I mean, how would you handle something like that? I don't know. Is it disrespectful? Yeah. Is he giving you an out? I mean, because he could be lying. He could like want to see your feet. You got great looking feet, and he took you in anyway because he just whacked like that. But I don't know. I don't know how to handle something like that. What would you do if, in fact, a cop pulled you over and said, "Let me see your feet, and I won't take you to jail"? I'll wait. Entertainment news. Bill Cosby. Now, I don't know what happened. He was scheduled to go on Queen Latifah. Now, these allegations came out. A woman came out and says that years ago, Bill Cosby drugged her and then raped her. She's accusing him of that. And then supposedly like 12 other women came out and says, "He did the same thing to me." So he was supposed to be on Queen Latifah last week, but then supposedly he canceled. And then I read, no, he didn't cancel. She canceled him. So I don't know what the deal is on that, but innocent till proven guilty? Does that not apply in this situation or what? I mean, just because somebody said something happened, although to be honest, with 12 women say it, that he did the same thing, it does make you wonder. I'm just being human, being real about it, but it still doesn't make him guilty. It just means now you have our attention, what happened. That's kind of like all it really means when you think about it. It doesn't necessarily mean he did anything. What Chris Brown did, and I'm not talking about Rihanna, I'm talking about what he did, what was that, yesterday that he did that? He went in on half of the ladies from The Real. Apparently, Adrienne Bailon was called out. She apparently was criticizing her. She was criticizing Chris Brown's girlfriend for sticking with him through everything, supposedly. I don't know what the exact conversation was. And supposedly Tamar was kind of like taking up for him, but she got shrapnel because Chris Brown called Adrienne out for sleeping with married men and not being relevant since the Cheetah Girls. I forgot she was in the Cheetah Girls. I forgot about that. And then something about trying to be a Kardashian. She dated Rob Kardashian for a while years ago. Tamar, he referred to her as the ugly Braxton, who doesn't have a career. Well, I don't think she's the ugly Braxton. I don't know if there is an ugly Braxton. And second of all, she has a career. I think she's pretty much established that, Mr. Brown. But I don't know. You know what? This whole entertainment thing, the performer, the stars, today's stars. You know what? Maybe a long time ago, the stars acted the same way, but there wasn't so much media to get the message out. There wasn't an Entertainment Tonight. There wasn't an internet. There wasn't, TMZ, things like that. None of that. There wasn't Facebook or Twitter, anything like that. So maybe just word didn't get out. But people were just as uncivil back then. I have a hard time believing that. But I guess it is possible. But it's just, boy, now it's like you can't say nothing. I mean, but then you shouldn't publicly criticize a star, especially if you don't know the situation. And sometimes a woman just loves a man and she sticks by him because she loves him. And it's on her terms that she will decide whether or not she'll continue the relationship. Some women, they get cheated on, they're one and out. Some women get smacked and they're out. No second chances, which, I get. Some women stay. I don't get that, but it's not up to me. We were all up in arms when we saw the pictures of what Chris Brown did to Rihanna. But then over a period of time, she forgave him. So if she forgives him, should we still be angry at him for that? I mean, it was in the end, it was her business. And if you want to say, Tony, you just don't understand, well, you're right. I probably don't understand. But when you think about it, doesn't make a lot of sense to keep being angry at him when the one person who he harmed the most has forgiven him. And I think they even got back together for a minute, didn't they? I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, sometimes we have misdirected anger. There's a guy who used to play for the Rams, Leonard Little, who was driving drunk one night, had a car accident, and killed a woman. And he went to trial, and a judge basically gave him a slap on the wrist. And people were mad at Leonard Little for not getting real prison time that, an ordinary person, a civilian, would get if they did the same thing. But why would you be mad at Leonard Little? Why aren't you mad at the judge is the one who says this is the price you're going to pay for what you did. So why are we mad at Leonard Little? Is Leonard Little supposed to go, no, judge, I want more time? No, who does that? Nobody wants to go to prison, even when they know they're wrong, and sorry for what they did. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody voluntarily goes to jail. So we couldn't expect him to do that. But shouldn't the anger have been at the judge for it was the judge's decision to let him off the hook like that? It was his decision to do. He could have threw the book at him and give him prison time for what he did, because it was basically, manslaughter. But he didn't. He gave him really nothing. And people were mad at Leonard Little. I never really understood that. Why was it like that? Why is it like that? I don't get that at all. It was reported on celebrity blogs that Amber Rose is dating French Montana, but it turns out she wasn't with French Montana. She was with French Montana's brother. I think his name is Italy Montana. I don't know what his name is. That's what I read. Some of the blogs were saying that it wasn't actually French Montana that she was with. It was his brother. I don't know what his brother's name is. Was it Zach or something? I don't know. I mentioned this yesterday, Prince's performance on Saturday Night Live, and I'm an old head, so he didn't sing any of the old cuts that I remember. I think he was singing all new stuff, which, like I said, is fine. But apparently he had an epic New York City after party after the performance. And they played 70s and 80s R&B at the party, and some of his new stuff too. Why couldn't they put that on TV? Why didn't we get any of that? I wanted to see that. I mean, I saw Prince when Purple Rain, when the movie came out, he went on tour, right? And I saw that concert, and it was pretty good. It was more than pretty. It was great. It's just fella, who has that kind of energy, right? But when you're passionate about something and you keep yourself in shape and all that kind of stuff, you can do amazing things. But he was everywhere on that stage, and people were eating it up. You hear me? Rihanna is back on Instagram. Remember, she got kicked off for putting her nipples on Instagram. I spoke about that not about that, but I spoke about nipples on a past podcast and how nipples get the raw deal. Because we will see cleavage, we will see side boob. There are websites devoted to side boob. We'll see under boob. We'll see every part of a woman's breast but the nipple. The nipple is off limits. Why is that? We all know what it looks like. We all know every human being has a nipple. I mean, everybody has a nipple. Some people have 3 of them, but I mean, what is the big deal about the nipple? Or we're that uptight in this country. I don't think other countries like in Europe and France and stuff, that ain't that big a deal, because it's a nipple. A nipple's a nipple. Hell, we all got one. But we'll show, like I said, we'll show every part of the boob but the nipple. There's an Instagram policy that you don't show your nipples in a picture, and she did, and she got kicked off. Now, Chelsea Handler, there was a picture of Vladimir Putin from Russia on a horse with no shirt on. So she got on a horse with no shirt on. And I didn't know she was holding like that, but that's a pretty good set she's got there. Whether she bought them or they're natural, I don't know. I don't care. But she says if this gets deleted, it's because of sexism. And I guess to a point she's right. And I guess to a point. I mean, I was brought up that men walk around no shirt on, it's no big deal. Women do it, and it's a deal. It's a deal. We're not used to that. In society, a woman doesn't work in the garden with her shirt off like a man will cut the grass in the summertime and he'll take his shirt off because it's so hot. Well, a woman can't do that. Well, why? Well, why? I don't mean that from a perv standpoint, but I mean, well, why can't a woman do that? Anyway, Rihanna decided to create her new Instagram and post some pictures from a photo shoot that she did with Elle magazine. And they interviewed her. And they asked her what she wants Santa to bring her this year, and she answered she wants a big trimmed. I don't know. Like I said, a long time ago, maybe stars answered the same way. They just didn't print it. Now they print it. Now it's like, okay, that's what you said. We're gonna put it up, and there's nobody has any shame anymore. I miss shame. Don't you miss shame? I miss shame. Where's the shame? There used to be the walk of shame for a woman when she left a dude's apartment. And she had to walk to her car. That was the walk of shame, right? Had to walk from an embarrassing situation to your car. Everybody knows what you were in the apartment doing, especially like paparazzi. And so they know what you were in there. Everybody's outside waiting to take pictures and you leave, and there's people out there. That's the walk of shame. I don't think the walk of shame exists anymore, right? Everybody knows what everybody's doing and it's fine because it all eventually shows up on the internet anyway. So anyway, I'm going to leave it right there. I appreciate you listening. Man, it went by fast today, I got to say. It was, I remember when I did radio, when your show went by fast, that means you had a great show. So I'll take this as a great show. I hope you can share it with people. Tell people about the Tony Scott Internet Show. And thank you so much for listening, all right? Go and vote. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.